these issues and updates. I am Teresa Faulkner, your host. I am also the Consumer Community Outreach Coordinator at Abilities in Motion. Our office is located at 210 North 5th Street in Reading, Pennsylvania. Our zip code is 19601. If you'd like to call us with more programming suggestions or if you have questions, please don't hesitate to call us. Our number is 610 376 0010. And if you'd like to speak directly to me, my extension is 108. We have a power packed program scheduled for today. First of all, on June the 22nd will be the Olmsted anniversary, and we want to talk a little bit about that. On June the 22nd, 1999, the Supreme Court decided in Olmsted versus L.C. Olmsted that under the Americans with Disabilities Act, people with disabilities cannot be unnecessarily segregated and must receive services in the most integrated settings as possible. Because of Olmsted, community living has been the cornerstone of the disability rights movement and at the core of administration for community living's mission to maximize the independence, well-being, and health of older adults, people with disabilities across the lifespan. So today we want to say happy anniversary and thank you, Olmsted, for what you have done for many persons. I want to introduce our guest. Our first guest is Elizabeth Sedley, and she is the Director of Interpreter Services at the Berks Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services. Welcome, Elizabeth. So nice to have you on our show. Our other guest is Cornelius Vanderbrodt, and he is the consumer who actually went through the process of transferring from a nursing home to a community setting. We want to welcome you, Mr. Vanderbilt. We want to welcome you. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine, dear. How are you?
I'm doing fine. We also want to give a high five to Hannah, who really assisted us with some help as far as the program. Thank you, Anna, for helping us out. We appreciate that so much. Mr. Vanderbilt, what we want to do is let's talk about you. Tell me some things that you enjoy, some activities, just some things you like to do that you enjoy.
I like to fish. I like to go out to dinner. I like to go sit in the park. I like to go on the lake. A lot of things I like to do.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, the reason we're having you on our show, you are a consumer who dealt with the nursing home transition. And we hear this quote all the time: there's no place like home. Do you feel the same way, Cornelius? There's no place like home.
Yes, I do. It's amazing. A nursing home is great when you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to get better, it's not that much fun.
So you had explained to me that you wanted to be able to share your experience. What took you into the nursing home setting?
I had 2 heart attacks and 5 strokes.
Okay.
When I came into the nursing home, I came in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I walked out.
Wow.
It was really hard getting to that point. But with their help and my thick-headedness, we did it.
Now, when you were about to start the process, how long did it take for you to transition from the nursing home back out into the community?
It took about a year.
About a year.
About a year, because when I tried, it was just still Medicare.
Mhm.
Okay. And what happened, they changed over to private insurance and I had to restart all over again.
Okay.
So basically, probably about 6 months between one to another.
So, how did you learn about the possibility of being able to transition from the nursing home back into the community?
I heard from my social worker
Hmm.
that there's a lot of things out there, a lot of programs that you can get into and get out of nursing home, which he said you really belong out of nursing home. You're not, you're healthy enough to live outside.
So, when you were in the nursing home and you talked to your social worker, how did they respond to you when you were looking to get out of the nursing home and return to the community?
They responded very well. They gave me all the cooperation they could. A lot of things you have to do yourself.
Okay. So when you said there's a lot of things that you have to do yourself, give us some information on how you were had to be involved in the process.
I had to be involved in a bunch of paperwork, okay, which they helped me do, and also a lot of interviews. I was interviewed by many people, the state, the insurance companies, okay. So it was well, like I said, it was a big process, but you know what? It's well worth it.
So one of the things that I think actually took place is you had to have a sign off from your physicians that you were going to be able to go out into the community and be able to live.
Yes,
Is that
th-
correct? They
that
had
is.
to sign off.
Yeah.
So, who helped you the most while you were preparing to move out of the nursing home? Who was your support? What was that process like for you?
Well, wasn't bad at all. Like I said, the social worker, the director of Manicare, okay,
Hmm.
she helped an awful lot. Okay,
Okay.
she was right behind me. She encouraged me. Okay, which was good. Which is a good support, really.
Hmm. So
I
they go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. I recommend, you know, somebody in Manicare to help you push you out, or whatever nursing home you're in. You know.
So let me just ask you a question. Perhaps we have a viewer who's watching our program today. How would you suggest they start the process as far as maybe transitioning from the nursing home back into the community?
Well, you have to go to your social worker, and
Hmm.
they'll arrange the whole thing. Basically, they'll arrange the process. Process, like I said, a bunch of paperwork, and they'll help you out with that. And the
Hmm.
doctor has to give you the okay. Okay, you have to be able to do certain things to make sure you can transition out of successfully. You know.
So when you were in when you went into the nursing home, you had said you had heart attacks and you went into the nursing home in a wheelchair. So while you were there, were you involved in therapy and all of that? How did that go for you?
Oh yeah, they gave me therapy. Okay, they gave me speech because I couldn't talk properly either. I couldn't remember. I have a short-term memory loss, but I'm getting much better. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you had speech therapy?
I had speech therapy, physical therapy, I had all the therapies you wanted to. I mean, they really did a good job on me.
Can I ask you a question? And I want you to be honest. Were there times in this transition that you were maybe sad, depressed? Did you get upset, or was it just easy sailing from beginning to end?
No, it was trying at times.
It was trying. What were some of your difficult points?
The difficult point was one person said, okay, you have to do this. Okay, then next thing you know, they changed the rules.
Okay.
Kept
Hmm.
they kept raising the bar higher and higher and higher
Hmm.
until I finally jumped over it. That was it.
Oh, wonderful. So I like that. You jumped over the bar and you knew that you were ready to go home.
Yes, I did.
Um, how long have you been living back in the community?
Since January 15th.
January 15th. And tell me, who helped you with the process? Because I'm sure you had to have housing. Is that correct?
Yes, I found basically my own housing. Okay.
Okay.
I was lucky enough that one of the other people in the nursing home, she wasn't full time. And when she got out, she had an apartment here and she told me about another apartment here. So I
And
was
so
lucky.
you then shared that information with the social worker.
Right.
And then you dealt with home and community based services where all the different things that you were going to need in the community, they could help you set that up. Is that correct?
That is correct. They gave
That
me
is correct.
mom's meals. Okay. So that was
Okay.
the start. Okay. I have an aide. Okay. That's
Mhm,
7 hours a day. Okay.
mhm.
She's wonderful. She does
Oh,
every,
wonderful. So she really supports you as you're independent in your own home.
yes.
Let me ask you another question. What was your biggest adjustment? Because I'm sure if you were in the nursing home for a year, you said, is that correct?
I was three years.
3 years you were in the nursing home and the process took a year. What was the biggest adjustment when you left the nursing home and then moved into your own place in the community?
Getting used to be by myself. Okay.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
enjoyed it because I was always with somebody in the nursing home. You had no
Hmm.
privacy. You had no, you know what I'm saying? When I got
Uh-huh.
here, uh, I was eventually a little lonely, but I have a girlfriend that came to live with me.
Oh,
She came out of a nursing home too. We
okay.
basically transitioned together, but it took her 2 weeks longer to get out.
Okay.
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 That made a big difference having somebody here.
So you and your girlfriend are living independently in the community.
Yes.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And how has it helped you emotionally and physically, mentally? How has this helped you, Cornelius?
It helped me a lot mentally. Okay.
Hmm.
I remember one thing. When before was in a nursing home, I came from the real world, really. I had to make my
Okay.
decisions, I had to do everything for myself. And it was a process that, that I did all my life. When
Hmm.
you get in a nursing home, you lose that. You lose the
Uh-huh.
independence.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm independent. I'm very happy. I make my own decisions. Okay. Basically, I do what I did before. And
Mhm.
I mean, mentally it made me feel really well. Really.
So before you had this situation happen in your life, what did you do on a regular basis? Were you retired? Were you home? I know we talked about decisions, but what did your day look like?
Uh, I was retired and I worked part time. We opened up another company, my friend and I, and we did that for part time, which would help me. In other words, I stayed active even
Hmm.
though I was retired.
Hmm.
And then once I had started getting the strokes, I couldn't do what I did before, but I
Okay.
was still independent.
Hmm.
I did couldn't do a business with him. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I decided to go to the grocery. I went to the grocery. I
Hmm.
decided to do whatever I wanted. I did. I got in the car and I left.
Hmm.
When you go into nursing home, like I said, even though you're doing well after a while, you can't leave when you want.
Hmm.
You have to listen. I'm going to leave. Blah, blah, blah. You have to get, it's just right. They're taking care of you and they must watch you.
Hmm.
Okay.
So there are things a nursing home can offer persons that really need it when they're not able to do things themselves. So nursing homes are good. But when you get to the place that you want to live in your own surroundings, you want to make your own decisions, you were ready to go and transition from the nursing home.
Yes, I was. I
Can
couldn't
you
wait.
Who was the person that helped you at Abilities in Motion with that process?
I can't remember names, but there was two girls that helped me very well. Okay.
Hmm.
In fact, when I found the apartment, they came and checked it out, make sure it was good for me.
Hmm.
They got furniture, they stocked the apartment with food, cleaning equipment. Everything was here when I walked in. It was like walking back into your own home.
Wonderful. So when you did go home, were there any things that they needed to come back and adjust for you just based on your independence?
No, I mean, she did an exceptional job. I
Uh-huh.
couldn't believe it. You know,
Wonderful.
I mean, it was amazing. I made a grocery list and she did it perfect. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I didn't know that much about cleaning stuff anymore. She bought all the cleaning stuff, a vacuum, mop, the whole 9 yards. It
Mhm.
was perfectly set up. It was like I never left home.
Now, did they check on you after you were had transitioned from the home back into the community? Did they check on you to make sure you were doing okay?
Yes, they did.
Wonderful.
She called me periodically and said, "How you doing? You need anything? What can I do for you?" It was a great transition. It really was. Took me
Hmm.
a while to get there, but when it happened, it was excellent.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now you can, and I don't know if you can actually speak on behalf of your girlfriend, but what was her transition? Was it as easy as yours, or she came into some roadblocks?
It was a little harder.
Hmm.
I think the last 2 weeks of manicure when she was there and I was here upset her a lot. So when she
Okay.
here, she was upset, but now she's back to normal.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, Cornelius, what would you say to somebody who might be watching in your own words? What would you say to them? They're sitting in a nursing home. They are thinking about going back into the community and finding their home. Kind of school them on what they need to do one more time for me. Would you mind doing that?
Not a problem. You must talk to your social worker. Okay.
Hmm.
They'll help you on what you need. Okay. And how to adjust. In other words, to get out of a nursing home, you have to do certain things and they'll help you through it. Okay.
When you say certain things, can you talk a little more about that? Just give us a couple certain things, meaning what?
you you have to physically be able to walk, okay?
Hmm.
Even whether I walk with a walker or walk by himself, okay?
Hmm.
You have to be able to kind of dress yourself and bathe yourself. But if you don't, you can't, they'll supply somebody in your home to take care of that too.
Hmm.
But I was lucky I was able to do almost everything I needed. Okay.
Hmm. Now, when
And
go ahead, I'm
that
sorry.
physical therapy had to write off on me.
Okay.
So that was one step. Then the doctor was the other step. Okay. Then all the questions in the state and federal government looking at you, making sure everything was proper. Okay.
Hmm.
Other than that, that was it. And that's the big steps and the hardest part to get through.
Hmm.
Once you get through, it's fine.
It works fine for you.
Yeah. And see, I had the stroke, so my memory is not there. Sometimes I can't process things.
Hmm.
Okay. So it was kind of hard for me that way.
Okay.
But probably if I was in a regular mental health, I'd have no problem at all.
Hmm. 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 Wonderful, wonderful. And so the transition from the nursing home into your own community was a load lifted. You were glad and you were happy that, first of all, you could be independent in your own place with help. You had other services that would come in and help you.
Right. I have an aide
Hmm.
comes every day. Okay.
Okay.
She does. I can't. I have a bad back and I can't bend. She does the housekeeping. She helps me cook. She does everything I need,
Hmm. Hmm.
like having an extra set of hands.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So the things that you can do, they've set up support that would enable you to get the necessary things done for you.
Right. I have a company called TLC Nursing, and
Hmm.
they fly the girls, and I have two wonderful girls. I
Hmm.
have one for Monday to Thursday, and one Friday to Sunday, and they're very good. I mean, the, they'll take me shopping. They'll do a lot of things for me, which
Hmm.
I can't normally do.
Hmm. Wonderful. Are you a cooker? Do you cook?
Yes, I am. Put it this way, my son's an executive chef, so
Oh, wow.
we cook very well.
Oh, good. What's one of your favorite meals?
I
What's your
like
best meal?
I like Italian. I like put it this way. I'm the guy who said everything's fine for me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I like Italian food, chicken parm, veal parm, pasta, you name it, meatballs, spaghetti. I'm all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
also steak. We had a nice lobster dinner yesterday.
Oh, wow. And you cooked it?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. So I can tell by your face, you love the fact that you're independent. You love the fact that you're in your own place. Like you can honestly say, there is no place like home. There's nothing like being in your own place and being independent.
That is the truth.
Really. Do you get to go out much? Do you go out?
Yeah. We have and I live in a community where we have a garden center.
Okay.
Okay. I have I don't know if it's 6 by 10 or 6 by 8, whatever it is. I planted my own garden there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, which was super nice. There's a lot of things to do in town. Unfortunately, with this virus going around, there's not a lot of things to do.
Right. We still have to actually practice that whole social distancing part.
Yes, we do.
So we have to
Okay.
practice that.
I joined. The first thing I did is join the senior center.
Okay.
They closed, so I can't go there. You know,
Uh-huh.
only thing I go out is a garden. Okay, and
Okay.
uh, that's about it. I'll go down the park. I'll watch the river. I'm by the Delaware. Very nice community.
I was thinking about that rhyme. It said, "How does your garden grow? What's growing in your garden?"
Uh, Tomatoes, onions, radishes, zucchini. In fact, I didn't see it for a week. It's overgrown with the tomatoes. They took over the place.
So does that mean you're going to be making some sauce?
That's basically it. We make salads too.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're almost done with our programming for today. I just want to, first of all, again, thank you for sharing your stories, sharing your experience. And I just wanted to give you another opportunity to be able to say to someone who might be thinking they can't leave the nursing home, give them words of encouragement, please, Cornelius.
Never give up. Okay. You have to be vigilant on it. I mean, if you want to get out of there, if you're serious, you'll get out.
Mhm.
Okay. But it's up to yourself. Okay. If you don't start the process, you'll never go anywhere.
Never.
So cheer up. There's a great world out here. I welcome you to it.
Oh, Cornelius, thank you so much for being our guest on the show. Again, we want to thank Hannah, who actually took part in getting us up and running. We also want to thank Elizabeth, who is our interpreter for today. And we want to say to our viewers, we're still dealing with the coronavirus. Please stay as healthy and as safe as you possibly can. And remember, we're here. Remember, if you want to call us, if you want to talk to us about situations or circumstances, you can give us a call at Abilities in Motion. Please know that our offices right now are not open. However, we are working remotely and we are still able to get the job done. Again, to my guests and to all of you, have a wonderful day. Stay safe and remain healthy. We'll see you next time.
Good night, everyone. It was a great. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome.